everything unmuted. Looks like levels are good. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Vampire the Masquerade here on the playground. I'm Pixie Phoenix. I'm a full-time variety streamer here on Twitch. I'm joined tonight by Nox, our storyteller. Skot is Idaho. And Zack, who's Victor. I'm your Alice. We are currently waiting on Martha to join us. But for those of you guys that tune in early, our diehard fans, we have a bit of an announcement. I will hand it over to Skot.
So Idaho and myself will be taking an indefinite sabbatical. Things have changed in my life recently, so it's getting a little more difficult for me to get in here every Monday night and stay for as long as is necessary. It's been great. It's been an amazing experience. Unlike any gaming experience, group gaming experience I've had in my entire life. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then when the time is right, I will return. But I'll miss you guys, that's for sure.
We will definitely miss you and Idaho in Philly. Robin's going to miss you a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get over it.
Is Samantha gonna go with you?
Eventually, Jesus.
Yeah, actually what I'm going to do is right before Idaho walks out, he's going to make sure Robin gets another 3 drinks.
Oh, Lord. No, we lock her in the basement?
After that much blood? Probably not. Probably not enough to do it.
She's going to feel the need to go rambling too. She got all that Ravnos blood in her. But yeah, it's been great. And as I was saying to Knox earlier, part of this came to me just because after we had the major Elysium session, that felt like
I demand piggies!
It felt like we had really reached like the end of a major point in the story. Wow, we just got a huge raid.
Yeah, we did. Taxi,
Whoa.
thank you. I was just in Taxi's stream before we got started, and yes, Taxi is a amazing City of Heroes player, and somebody I honestly look up to. I watch her streams. I'm like, I could never do that, but she's
That's
very,
awesome.
very cool. Yes, welcome in, Raiders. We are just getting started with our live action role playing session of Vampire the Masquerade. You caught us on a bit of a somber note. We are losing our friend Skot here. He's been with us since the beginning, and yeah, just things coming up. Life takes over, and the door's always open for Idaho to step back into the club, into the limelight.
Yeah, and that's the intent. I just feel like I need a little bit of a sabbatical and just kind of figure things out and then return at some point when the time is right.
Sounds good. Like I said,
Right.
just get back in touch with me when it's time for you to come back, and we will start the working you back in.
Sounds good. I really appreciate it, guys. It's been great. And Pix, please contact me soon so we can talk about that other thing.
Yes.
And I will talk to you guys soon.
We will see you soon, man.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, yeah, Taxi, take some time for yourself. I know, after those streams, you got the munchies, you need a smoke or whatever. Yeah, I get it. So, Raiders, welcome in. We are still waiting for our premiere, right? What's this premiere?
Toreador.
Toreador, sorry. I always get the T's mixed up.
Tremere, the ones upstairs.
The upstairs ones, yes. The mistakes.
It's easier if you remember that Toreador can also be said as Torrid Whore. Because it's accurate. Don't at me.
That's a good one. It's helping me keep the tears at bay. They don't smoke in Canada.
They just like dumpster fires.
Dumpster fire.
No, just kidding.
No, that's just all of America right now. Let's not kid ourselves.
You know, it's funny because, you know.
Oh, Rory's getting on me about the vaping. Yep.
Because one of the things, you know, that Skot said is if this felt like an ending, and to me, it didn't necessarily feel like an ending so much as a a new beginning. Like this is an entirely new scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it kind of felt like the end of a season. Like, you watch something and something
Well,
happens at the end of the season that fundamentally changes the next season. The
well, a
next
lot
season
of
is,
the other stream, especially vampire streams, but a lot of the other role-playing streams, they do things by like seasons.
season, right?
Mhm.
And so either when something big like this is coming up, it will round out and then become something new, or sometimes it's by time, right? Like people want to run like a 3 month session or whatever, and then break and then come back for season two.
Right.
So I just never thought to do anything like that because we had been going, so strong for so long. But yeah, I mean, it can run the meter out after a while. Um,
No, the way I see it was we've had 2 seasons, and we're in the third. Because the first season was, culminated at the naval, we
okay.
got kidnapped.
I guess
And
that's
then
one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So season 2 for me was when we woke up in that naval base, and we were, everything had fundamentally changed that at that point. And then, and then Elysium,
Elysium kind of
would be
was the
the
kickoff.
end of season 2, and then now we're in season 3 is the way I see it.
I guess that's one way of looking at it. That's not how my notes work, but whatever. So yeah, like no, I like it. I totally understand, absolutely understand where Scott's coming from. I understand, I can definitely understand that perception, but I can tell you from my standpoint as a storyteller, for me, this is kind of where things can start to get exciting, because this is where now, now you guys know your characters. Now you guys not just have written backstory, but you guys have actual played out backstory.
Mm-hmm.
You have associations to this world. So now when stuff like this happens and the world changes, now it's interesting to see how your characters are going to change, how that's going to play out, how relationships change, how dynamics change within the city. And there's still tons and tons of of corners of the city that you guys have not even gone into yet. There's still tons of people you guys haven't even met, and threats you have not yet even properly assessed. So,
oh gosh,
yeah,
no, I'm definitely up a creek. Alice is definitely up a creek right now.
so I guess I have not. So, and this is not putting anybody on the spot here, but I have not heard from Martha. It says she's online. Okay, somebody else is going to have to do it, because for whatever reason I can no longer use Facebook Messenger.
Did you get blocked?
No, like Facebook, so if I reload Facebook, like all of Facebook works, but I can't actually click down in the Messenger box anymore. I don't understand.
Docs can't work. Messenger.
That almost reminds me of like at work. We use Teams at work, and there's like this invisible window that hovers over the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. And if I try to click anything down there, it pops Teams up instead of actually doing what I want it to do. So on some of the screens that I use, I actually have to tab over to the submit button and then hit it with the enter key because my mouse won't go there.
So so this leads to the question. We can certainly do if Martha, if we don't hear from Martha, if we can always do a solo session. We can do a duo session here with the two of you guys, dealing with the fallout of the evening already. We can do Mothership. We can do however you guys want to do it.
It has been a while. I'm kind of itching for some
Then that's what we'll do.
And for those of you guys hanging out in chat. If you've ever been curious about role playing, you've watched a few of our sessions, think you might be interested in role playing, feel free to join my Discord. We have a whole channel just for tabletop role playing chatting. You can get in touch with Nox pretty much right away. We're both usually on Discord most of the time. We'd love to open this up to new players. So,
Yeah, and I mean, technically, with Skot taking a sabbatical, we have an open spot for our Monday nights, or frankly, for Mothership.
Yep.
The way that the Mothership campaign is working right now, it would not be difficult for people to kind of slide right into that one.
Kind of drop in, drop out, whatever, if you're available one week but not the next, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely go into Discord tomorrow and kind of pimp it out again that we're looking for players. Mm.
And now she's offline again. All right, fuck it, we're starting.
Alrighty.
There's a lot of beeping. All right, welcome everybody to our Monday night 5th edition Chronicle, Philly by Night. Man, it's been a couple weeks since everybody got together, and now it's going to be a little bit longer till everybody gets back together again. So, let's do a real brief recap. Brief. After the events of Elysium, that session that never ends, and I'm just going to side note here. So after every session, I do recap notes for the group, so that way people want to read back through and kind of figure out what happened. Normally, my recap notes are about 2.5 pages long. They're about 600 to 750 words. That was 2,400 words to do the recap for that one game, for that one session. It's a lot. It was a lot. So after that ended with the entirety of Philadelphia in disarray, all of the political structures up for grabs, everything going, even personal structures up for grabs. Alice and Vic and Michael headed to go see Vic's kid, Madison, at the Dissolved Girl. Vic got to reconnect with his long-lost daughter. Michael got to play some high-stakes poker and get a taste of maybe how things, or how opinion was starting to foment towards him and towards the coterie in the aftermath of Elysium. And Al both made a new friend and also got to connect with Cyrus, one of the Northeast Anarchs, very briefly.
And Reese.
Yeah. Not so much of a connection there. After they departed from there the next night, Al decided to follow up on a lead that she and Lane had discovered in her apartment, an old ID. And the trio of Idaho, Al, and Vic took off for Ruby's parents' home. Getting there, investigating the situation, they found a fairly grisly murder scene that indicated that perhaps Ruby was no longer the person that Alice thought she was. leaving they all headed back to the apartments. They went and they hunted. Al decided to contact Uriel to attempt to get a better grip on the situation and maybe gain some perspective. And at that point, the conversation moved to a kind of pseudo meta conversation about siring and what the next generation of the coterie is going to look like. Because as has been pointed out, things are running thin. Tonight, that thinness stretches even farther. The coterie wakes up tonight with a message on the group chat of Idaho, who has retrieved his dogs and who gave Moira a quick hug before he left, and saying that he needed some time to figure some things out for himself. So now the fearsome foursome has become a terrible trio for the time being. And spread ever thinner. So, with that said, in the words of a storyteller who's far greater than I, let's tell a vampire story. So, night starts. Philadelphia is cooler than it has been in several days. The temperature has come down. People are finally able to go out without sweating balls. But the emotional temperature of the city is hotter than it's been in a very long time. So, Al, you wake, as you do, a little early, with the last rays of the sun still falling upon the streets of Philadelphia. What is your first action?
I'm half tempted to call Nolte about
Okay.
the bodies, but I'm at the same time like, oh, I think I know what I could do. Yeah, I'm gonna call Nolte and explain that my girlfriend has gone to check on her elderly parents and no one has heard from her or the parents. I'm calling about a welfare check.
So when
With
you
the
call,
with the goal of at least they will get some evidence, figure some things out for me I can't, and then I can follow up with him. That's kind of
So proof of life.
yes. But of course it's not going to be there.
so when you get there, when you call Nolte, it takes him a minute to pick up. But when he does pick up, he sounds a little surprised to hear from you.
Probably just the time.
He's like, it's been a minute. Are you okay? What's going on?
Lot of drama. You know how two girls with mental illnesses and insomnia, can go astray sometimes. So yeah, I've been dealing with that.
He goes, I've watched that video. There's a cup involved, though.
No. I can promise you.
No peanuts? All right.
But, so sad you had to see that.
Me too. So, so what do I owe the honor? How can I? He says, I'm assuming you said that you mentioned something about issues, drama with your girl, so I'm hoping you're not calling for like domestic.
Mm. No, in fact, it's kind of quite the opposite. She said she needed to go spend some time check in on her elderly parents. I said that was fine. We probably needed cooling off period. That was over a week ago, and I haven't heard from her. No one's picking up at their home. I was kind of hoping you can maybe do a little bit of a welfare check,
He
or
goes,
one of your lackeys.
oh, I'm not going out there. He says, he says, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I will. He goes, you have an address for me? He goes, something. He goes, I can call a patrol car out there and just have them do a drive by and see what's going on if there's
Yeah,
anybody there.
yeah, and I read him the address off of the.
He takes it and he's like, he's like, it probably won't be denied. He's like, I'm gonna have to, call some people and have them call some people. He goes, that's not really my area, but he's like, but yeah, I will. He goes, I'll see what I can do.
I do appreciate it. Now you should come by the club sometime. Have a drink on me.
He goes, yeah, because 50 something cops going to nightclubs is exactly what's going to bring people to your bar. He goes,
You're my guest. They'll shut the fuck up.
we'll see. I'll think about it. He goes, is there anything else I can do for you? He goes, we found. Hey, he goes, I know that it's been a while. He said, but we found that girl. She's not in good shape. But,
really?
yeah, he says I don't. He goes, I don't have a whole lot of details, or certainly not details that I'm allowed to share. But she says her family is probably going to institutionalize her, and I'll leave it at that.
I appreciate the follow up.
He goes, I'm surprised I had the ability to make a follow up on that one, frankly. He goes, after a certain amount of time, kids go missing, teenagers go missing, we don't hear anything. At that point, you just kind of hope for the best and assume the worst. He goes, a 14-year-old girl from a reasonably wealthy neighborhood who suddenly goes missing, who knows, anything from she got knocked up by her boyfriend, or she decided to come out, or she knew her parents were gonna hate her, or whatever. There's so many different reasons on why kids decide that they fucking hate their parents. And then there's the real monsters who are out there who are taking advantage of the innocence, and then those ones fall through the cracks. And in this particular case, yeah, she did. She fell through the cracks and somehow managed to get out. Worse for it, though.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate that update because I kind of put it out of mind. Like you said, the further things go, the less likely you're going to find anybody.
He goes, like I said, I'll give you a call if I hear anything or if I see anything. If anything comes across my desk, he goes, regarding your girlfriend, and obviously, if she shows back up, give me a call so I could not be sending units over there to harass her folks. That's not going to do anything for your relationship.
No, of course not. Like I said, her being quite unstable right now and them being elderly, just concerned.
No. He goes, oh, as an old guy myself, I appreciate that.
Well, you have a good evening or evening off of work, whichever you're dealing with tonight.
Oh, he goes, oh, I'm on duty.
Mm. Well, I'm about to be as well, so you take care, and if there's anything your trusty old bartender here can do for you, let me know.
He goes, will do. He hangs up, and Lane looks at you and goes, what the fuck are we gonna do?
Could you be more specific?
She says, well,
We've got a lot of what the fuck situations we're juggling here.
she goes, well, for my part of it, I only have two what the fuck situations that I'm juggling. She says, I have the Ruby situation with you, and she goes, and we have the staffing issue at the club. And she goes, and now we have a bigger staffing hole to deal with. She's like, what are we gonna do? Because Robin's gonna be fucking useless tonight.
Well, as far as the staffing, we really, as a whole, as a staff, need to come together and make a final decision. You know, are we going to reach out to other existing vamps? Are we going to go out and start interviewing, you know, maybe snag some bartenders from some human bars? I don't know. But it's certainly not a decision I feel like I should make on my own. And yeah, the Ruby thing is just as much of a what the fuck for me. Uh you know, I only, you know, found her dead parents completely mutilated. Uh so I don't have much hope of her coming back, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily looking forward to what she'll be coming back as. We still don't know exactly what taking over Shaw like that really did. We don't know her abilities or where her mind is.
She says, well, do vampires have souls?
It's debatable.
Right? That's not something I could answer for you. I guess it really just depends on what you quantify as a soul. If you're some religious zealot, it would mean something completely different to someone like me, who believes it's more of an essence that you carry with you. If we're undead, then I still have my essence. Is that my soul?
She goes, no. She goes, now you're getting too far into it. She goes, just hear me out. She goes, you told me you guys dumped Shaw's body somewhere, right? She says, what's the thing that you guys keep talking about with Carmelo? How you need his body in order to ask him questions.
I don't know that we dumped it. I thought we just left it at Elysium. We dragged his body and threw it on the floor in front of right by Charles, didn't we? And we just left him there.
Nope.
I thought we took him out to the was it the underground?
We took Gigi.
No. So the Gigi had the bit of his remains were taken by Brittany to
The rest of the
NOS.
to the Nas.
You guys, after staking Raul, you took Shaw's body. You took the both of them, and you took Shaw, and you found a random high-rise downtown that you knew was going to get hit by sunlight when the sun came up, and left his body there.
Well, shit. You're gonna have to go send Clyde up there to go get the ash out of the rain gutters.
And that'll
Clyde.
do how much?
Clyde, 2 buildings over. God damn it.
Remember, every time I say, well, we'll just put a vampire on the roof and let the sun take care of it, he's like, no, I got to go out and clean all the ash out of the storm gutters. That's his excuse every time. So
Lane tells you, she's like, why don't you go find his body or what's left of it and take it to Vic's kid and get her to owe somebody a favor and ask that dead asshole some questions.
It's not a bad idea.
Lane rolls her eyes and says, I'm going to go handle Robin.
Yeah.
Vic. As the sun sets, you wake up. What is your first order of business? What are you, with this new bit of information about Idaho, what are you doing?
I guess just going down and meet with Michael and see what else is going on.
Okay, so you're heading. So you're just basically heading down to the club then, or are you staying in the apartment and trying to like head to the conference room and meet everybody there, or like what are you doing?
I'll start at the conference room, and if it looks like people are at the club or they're not in the apartment, I'll head to the club.
All right, Mr. Starwell, are you with us?
I'm here.
Cool. So
I don't see a video for her.
Yeah, there's no video today.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
So you wake up to the text message on the group chat that Idaho is going to be heading out of Philadelphia for the time being, that he is needing to figure some things out for himself, and that he's taking his dogs.
Okay.
So, what does Mr. Starwell do? Sun comes down. How is the Baron of West Philly starting his evening?
Slowly. Probably just getting up and
Oh, you're
checking
really
to see if
selling it.
checking to see if there's like any messages or anything. Otherwise, I'm going to get dressed as finally as possible and head to the club.
No, you have actually no voicemails. There is nothing from anyone to. There's no voicemails. There's not even any business calls. Nothing like that.
Yeah, I go straight to my office.
So, you guys. So you're heading to your office in the club.
Mm-hmm.
Vic, you're probably going to be over at the club. Al, where are you headed? Are you heading over to the club too?
Yeah, at least long enough to discuss with Michael getting some help going to somehow find part of Shaw.
So when you guys get over to the club, there's a decent line that's starting to form out front. When people walk through the front door, Vic, when you walk in, Harvey and Romano are kind of giving you big-eyed, silent, what the fuck.
I guess I go see what they need. Do we need rouse checks?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay, sorry.
Calm your tits, man.
So when you walk up, Romano is like, yeah, He goes, I didn't get to really say anything to him, but we kind of caught the gist of what's going on. So I'm talking to Moira, and he took he took his hearse and he loaded his dogs up and said maybe he'd be back, maybe he wouldn't. He's like, they're both kind of like, so now we're down a vehicle, and we're down a member, you guys. Like, Romano's like, we got to do something, man. He's like, this is moving from being a difficult situation to navigate, starting to move into a dangerous situation to navigate, because now we're starting to look weak.
Yeah, I know. Last night, didn't I end by putting out job ads, like help wanted ads? That was like my final thing.
Yes.
Was like trying to get job help wanted ads. So hopefully we should be getting some responses to those, and I should be interviewing some people soon.
They're both like, I mean, if there's anything that we can do to help, they're like, let us know. But they're both kind of like, I don't know what we're gonna do.
We're just gonna maintain for now.
We got a big line here tonight, so we'll handle it up front.
All right. Just let me know if you need anything.
So, Al, as you head into the end of the bar through the back, it's not the caterwauling you were expecting. But to say that Robin doesn't look like she's a bit of a mess with her, mascara running down her face like a...
Oh, Lord. She's gonna want the night off.
She is sitting she is putting her bar together and being very, very sad. Do you say anything to her? Are you...
I guess I'd just check on her, like, hey, I know things are rough, how are you handling it?
She's like, I'm really gonna miss him.
We all are.
She goes,
Who is this crying?
she's like,
Robin.
She's like, I think he was on the verge of realizing we had something special.
Oh, honey, don't. When someone leaves our lives, it's best not to speculate. You'll only torture yourself. Okay, you'll get over this heartbreak. It will take time. They always do. But you're gonna be fine, especially if you try to, focus on the club. Focus on making new friends.
She goes, now who's gonna feed me?
How about you learn for yourself?
How about me?
Yes, he's your ghoul. Only reason that Idaho fed her is because she was on the verge of death. Like he had to, it was an emergency situation.
Right.
So she goes.
Yeah, send her, be like, go ask Michael.
So she goes back to putting her bar together, albeit a little slowly. Lane and Rhea are setting up their bar, getting everything good. What are you doing now? Are you heading to your bar, or are you going to ask Rhea to take over for tonight again, or Lane to take over for tonight again?
Well, very first thing would be to touch base with Michael.
Okay, so you're gonna
let him know about the plan.
So you're gonna head up to Michael's office.
Yes.
And Vic, you're already on the way. So Michael, when you walk through the club, it's not that everything's kind of in a state of disarray. Like everything is staying somewhat still clean and everything like that, but it's beginning to feel like everything is 80% done. Everything's not being covered in anymore. There's not enough. There's not enough
Right.
hands to go around. There's just not enough time in the day. So Al and Vic show up at your office. So I'll let you take it from there. What do you guys talk about? What happens?
Well, first and foremost, I would let the group know, but I know this would be especially pertinent to Vic, that I've heard back about Idaho's little orphan. And he has been found, but not in a very good way. I wasn't privy to many details other than she will probably be instituted the rest of her life.
Hmm.
So
I wonder if
that
now's a good time to let Idaho know about that or not.
well, we don't.
If
We
he
had a
took, if he
conversation.
kept his phone, I mean, he text. Did he text us by phone or?
Meta conversation. Is Idaho not joining
Oh,
today?
we'll fill you in on the break.
Okay.
Yes, Idaho sent the group that was like he actually talked to
Moira.
Moira,
Mm-hmm.
but he basically sent a message to everybody saying that he was leaving Philadelphia with his dogs and he needed to figure some things out. And that's about the end of it.
Okay.
So he may still have a phone. I just don't know if he's like on a mental journey or something like that. I don't know if letting him know about her right now is the best course of action. I don't know.
No, I agree with that statement. Um,
It's
so
not going to change the situation, unfortunately. So
right. So just to
I
wrap
can.
up that, that thread. Um, I can't remember. Knox, did last session basically end with us coming home, or did I have a chance to fill everyone in as to what happened at Ruby's place? I can't. I did read the recap. I promised.
I did not. I'm sorry.
I would say that that yes, you would have filled in everybody.
Okay.
All
So then the update for the Ruby situation would be that I have contacted my police friend, and I kind of asked for a bit of a welfare check at her parents'. I figure
Mm-hmm.
let the cops do the work for us.
Mm-hmm.
They can, run a crime scene, and then I can follow up and kind of maybe dig for some details. My guy's
Mm-hmm.
been pretty good to me so far. Um, so I propose one of two things, Michael, and I would give you the decision on it. Would you prefer me, when it comes to hiring, to go out and headhunt? Or do you need me working my bar and maybe looking through the crowd, seeing who I see, if somebody fits our group, our groove?
I think. I think tonight we should focus. Stay at the club. Be stationary for a bit. And students like everything's like 80. We're understaffed.
I know. That's
So
why I wanted.
tonight we're gonna have to all roll up our sleeves and work.
Okay, so then I do propose that we might send someone on an errand. I don't imagine it taking very long, but I have an idea if I can procure some semblance of Shaw's body.
All right.
So I just need someone to go up to the roof of the place of the whatever where we left him.
And scrape the storm gutters for Ash. Sounds like a Clyde job.
As long as there's no trouble, yeah, it definitely could just be a grunt work job. And this building was how far away from us?
It's on the way from the penitentiary to here. It was not far from the penitentiary, so it's going to be downtown.
Okay. But that shouldn't take forever and a day for somebody to do, right?
If they can find exactly where the body was. You guys kind of just dumped it.
Was that okay? I'm sorry, you guys. It's been so long. Completely meta questions. Did we all dump it together?
It was on the way back from Elysium, right? So.
Yes, it would. So it would have been the three of you who dumped it.
Well, I mean, send somebody with a phone and they can video call while they walk the roof. See if we remember anything.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
I'm assuming I'm the one who did the carrying the body up to the roof. So like, did I just like open the roof door and just chunk it, or did I prop it up somewhere? Like I think I would have remembered that much at least.
So the only description that you guys gave was that you drove away and found a rooftop that you knew would get sunlight.
Time to Google Maps this.
So.
Well, okay, let me ask this much. Would we theoretically have used Google Maps to get to the penitentiary that night? Being that it was somewhat on a different area for us?
I would say that as denizens of Philadelphia, particularly because Eastern State Penitentiary is kind of a popular touristy thing to do, you guys would have already known how to get there. It's not like an off. It's not in your territory. But at the same
time, okay, I was gonna say at the same time, if we knew that area, knew where that was so well, then would we not be familiar with the surrounding neighborhoods?
I would say. Sure, I would say you would probably be able to identify, like maybe the general area, but you guys were also in a hurry to get home because you were also holding another body who was staked.
Okay, I got this.
Okay.
We need to call Sonny. Or really, any of our, maybe even I could do it if my tech is high enough. But could we not
see where the
geolocate geolocate the texts and the phone calls we were making back and forth to each other?
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
I'd roll my tech on that.
That's a tech thing. And this
that would be my suggestion to at least start that part of when we need to leave. Is I could try to roll that hack.
Okay, so your suggestion is that you're going to basically probably have to head back either to your apartment or to a computer terminal somewhere, and attempt to figure that out.
Yeah, or like if there's a laptop in the main office or something.
I would say there's probably computers that are there, or you could, or even certainly if not all the way into your apartment, in the apartment offices, there would definitely be things somewhere I would allow you to use. So before you do that, so you're going to attempt to figure out where you guys left the body. Vic, what are you doing?
Guess I'm checking to see if I have any responses to the job openings.
No, it's only been
okay
12 hours.
I guess asking Mike if he thinks we need to put out more job, because I think I just put out job openings for a bouncer, but it seems like we probably need to hire out a little bit more at this point. So
and we just need to make a generalized ad that says
bar help wanted,
hiring all positions.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put a call. In the meantime, I'm gonna put a call to Serenity and see if if she answers. I'm gonna call Threnody real quick.
She does not answer.
All
Man,
right, I leave a
everybody's
message
busy.
saying, "Hey, I was wondering if some of your people would like to earn some money really quickly. We have a bunch of like holes, and we could use some support. And I figure everybody wins. Or like, I have some positions to fill. Let me know if anybody comes to mind."
Phrasing.
I thought never mind.
What happened? I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so out of it.
No. You
said there's
interchanged holes for positions, and I was like, okay, she caught herself. She caught herself. Okay. We were heading straight for the first kink bingo.
You said
Yeah,
I have
I
positions
know,
to fill, and I said phrasing.
Sorry.
So
I have no brain today.
So you call Threnody, try to figure it out. Vic, you're going to attempt to figure out a better ad for more generalized help in the club, and you're heading.
I'm not going to do it. I can't read. So someone else.
No, I'm also going to be posting ads in like the newspaper and Craigslist and Facebook and just general like ads.
Okay.
Nothing too mainstream, just in like the weird places.
So before you guys split up, this seems like an appropriate time for us to do some housekeeping. Vic's doing all right. For those of you who are watching us for the first time tonight, the call for housekeeping is the time when all of our kindred roll their rouse checks to see if they are getting any hungrier for the evening. This is a time of great consternation, as oftentimes 2 or 3 of the people, it's usually it's like a 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 split, where either one person goes unscathed and everybody else ends up vastly hungry, or one person ends up getting way hungrier while everybody else. But tonight it's actually a 3 for nobody. Everybody wakes up feeling perhaps a little peckish, but not absolutely needing to, not killing for a meal yet.
No chomping at the bits tonight.
Yeah, not yet. So,
bits already are naughty when they're not on horses.
This is my face. So, Al, you head off to go to do your hack. That's going to be your intelligence and technology. Do you... That is... Hold on. Technology. You only have 2.
I thought I had
3. No, that's right. Okay. Do you want to spend a willpower to increase your roll, or would you like to run with that?
I imagine this is probably a pretty difficult hack.
It's not, but so here's what I will say. You have hit the target number 4 successes, but the margin of successes here will make it easier for whatever comes next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I
you can re-roll 2. Okay. So, like I said, you were successful. You've narrowed it down to within like 2 or 3 separate buildings that are not too terribly far from the Eastern State Penitentiary.
Okay, so he's not going to be wandering around all night.
So you're sending Clyde?
I will send whoever Michael thinks that we can do without.
I think, why don't you go check it out and I'll take care of your bar tonight. So if anybody wants to come see me, I'll be front and center.
Okay, so Al, you are going to... Do you have a driving skill? Are we doing, or are we? I don't think you did. So I guess
Nope.
cool. So
Can I have a scooter? Can I have a scooter?
You can Uber.
I was going to say
Exactly.
you can Uber.
I was going to say the same thing. Charge it to the club. Shit.
You can
No,
certainly
no,
do.
no. That's too much of a trail.
Yeah, that's why I was like, should I just buy a scooter?
Take
Oh,
the
you mean like
bus.
one of those rent a
Ciao.
scooters?
So
Ciao,
you
bella.
so you can
Bellissimo.
so your options here are you can get somebody to drive you over there. You could get a taxi, or you could get a or you can get an Uber. I mean, theoretically, you could walk. It's not going to be, a.
Fuck that. I'll take a taxi, pay cash.
Okay. So you call the taxi. Vic, what are you doing right now? Walking out
I
of
guess
Michael's office. Where are
I
you
guess
headed?
just going down to seeing how I can be helpful in the club. I know we're shorthanded, so I know
There's
I can't bartend or anything, but I can at least try to fill in.
there's any number of different little things that you end up being able to do as you're kind of going through the club. You end up being bar back, getting ice for Lane and Ria's bar. The Alice's bar. What Michael's going to be behind tonight is still um, a little needs a little bit of help finishing setup there. So, humping ice and cleaning up there, and of course, when you walk by Robin's bar, uh, she gives you a big sad face, and then also tells you she needs ice. So while you're humping ice and trash out of the bar and things like that, when you go out the back to take some of the trash out, um, the smell is worse.
What is the smell?
The alley, something in the alley.
No, it's coming from
No.
the basement of the club where you're keeping Raoul.
Oh, man. Did we ever hear back from Trinity?
No.
Then I guess I'll go talk to Michael about the situation and see what we're gonna have to do, because there's only so long we can keep the smell from emanating into the club itself.
I guess we're gonna have to go see if we still have Tremere guests. Maybe they can help us out again.
So you tell Michael, what do you, the doors have not yet opened. What are you going to go do?
I'm gonna go finish setting up the bar real quick, and then head back to the house if I still have time to knock on the Tremere door to actually ask them.
So when you head back to the apartment, you get up there. You don't have a whole lot of time. When you knock on the door, it takes a moment, but Eugene answers. Eugene is in a pair of very, very loose wrap pants.
Ooh.
Again, half of his body is as vampirically perfect as it always was. The other half has gotten to the point where it doesn't look like fresh pink scar tissue anymore. It's starting to look more like skin, but it is still not the same color. It still makes him look like a poor man's version of Two-Face. His eye in that socket has still not regenerated. His lips on that side of his face are still not entirely lip-like, for lack of a better terminology.
I'm looking for a
It looks
friend.
like almost like fish lips.
Sorry, man. It's very much Dark Knight Harvey Dent.
He's not that crispy. That's last week.
All right, let's say Harvey Dent meets Deadpool.
He's not that bad either. When he looks at you, he says, "Good evening. Is there something I can help you with? I'm a little busy."
Obviously, I don't want to take too much of your time. You are looking well, and I see that you are uh, very occupied. But we were wondering when you do have a moment, if you could give us some advice with our Raoul.
He thinks about it for a long moment, and he says, "I have advice, but I do not think it is advice that you are going to want to hear."
Just because I don't want to hear it doesn't mean I'm not willing to listen.
He says, "Well, I'm glad you were willing to listen. You have an incinerator. Use it."
So a thing like this runs too deep, to be sure.
He gestures to the half of his body. He says, "A woman who I saw as a member of my family did this to me without a second thought. This is a woman I have known for years. He says, I am not sure that the sickness she has can be cured. She says, but your friend now seems less intelligent and more ravenous than many other kindred. He says, sometimes dogs just need to be put down.
Thank you for.
Before he
Oh, sorry.
closes the door, he says, given your options that I have heard of, he said, I would find an act of mercy from you now likely to be significantly shorter and much less painful to the man you thought was a friend than what the Camarilla will do to him in punishment for what happened at Elysium.
Thank you for your time. Please don't let me keep you any further.
He gives you a brief terse nod and closes the door.
Yeah, I hustle back over to the club.
So, what do you do with this information? Do you go to Vic? Your doors are about to open. You don't have a whole lot of time.
I tell who do we have like doing busing right now?
So right now you have, going by the people that you have in staff now. You've got, it's the three of you as the primaries. Moira is at the apartments, running the apartment. The people who are at the club now, in terms of ghouls, you've got Clyde, Rhea, Lane, Romano, and Robin. Robin's running her bar. Rhea and Lane are running Lane's bar. Romano's running the door with Harvey, and Clyde is basically picking up the slack with Vic for doing floor duty.
All right. I guess. Sorry, Clyde. Come here.
It's like, what? No.
Wasn't he
Like
supposed to
I
be
give him
interviewing
$200
people?
and I ask him to run to the nearest like convenience store or like smoke shop. There's a lot in Philly. Or bodega really, and get like however many like incenses and smoker candles that he can just for tonight, and set and start lighting them up downstairs to hide the smell. Make sure that they're all the same scent
He kind
or
of
something that matches. And he
like
can keep whatever's left over.
he's like I can do this, but like it smells like sewage. Like dude is doing whatever you guys do to be more human so that he can rub his filth all over that goddamn cell.
Is
He's
there
like
a way
we're
that
gonna
you can?
he's like we're gonna have to pressure wash that entire cell. It's caked in there so much now.
Ugh, yeah, I know.
He's like he's like some candles and some incense is not going to cover the smell. This is a goddamn burst sewer line down there.
All right. Do you want to throw some bleach around?
He's like, we can do that. We're he's like, we're gonna have to make sure no one goes into the basement that's still human. It's gonna be up to you guys.
Fair
He's
enough.
like bleach plus any sort of
Oh
feces
yeah,
or
no.
it turns into
Ammonia. Yeah,
turns into
ammonia. Yeah,
chlorine
yeah, yeah,
gas.
yeah, 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 yeah. Never mind. Shit.
He's like, I'll do it and hope to God that whoever's in that cell suffers for it. He's like, but it will basically mean that then it's going to be on the three of you to do anything about him from then on out because the rest of us won't even be able to go down there.
Fuck,
Well,
wait a
chlorine
second.
gas is also
Give me
explosive.
one
So
second.
Well, that would be a hell of an end to the chronicle.
yeah.
They were doing so well, and then somebody rubbed shit all over the walls, and they blew it up. The end. Good night. See you Thursday. 4 sphincters with milk.
Ah, shit. That is not what I wanted to do. It's like a what do you use? All right, go get like a giant tub of Lysol if you can.
OxyClean.
No. Get some toilet bowl cleaner. Hit it with the walls. Just something that will like mask the smell for fucking tonight. And stop giving him any like blood.
He's like, all right, I will see what I can do.
Thank you.
So Clyde heads off. So with Clyde running this errand, what are you going to do?
Continue setting up the bar and getting ready for opening.
Okay. When the Uber driver comes and picks you up and asks you where to go, what do you tell him? Do you just give him kind of tell him you want to go to where the general area is and then get out and walk around? Are you going to like have him drive you from address to address?
Would I remember kind of how long it took us from point A to point B to get from the prison to where we dumped the body? Would I have remember a frame of how long it took?
I'm going to say that's going to be wits and awareness.
because that would give me a point where I could go. I could actually have him dump me at the penitentiary and like kind of wander.
Pretty stressful night for you, though.
Oh wait. Okay, I must have read some. Wait, probably right over it.
Yeah, you thinking back, even though the rest of your night was fucking awful, um, that particular part of the night is fairly clear in your mind. So you would have a pretty good idea, timeline wise, about where you would have been at that point.
And yeah, I'd probably just have him drop me off at the prison.
Okay. So the drive to the Eastern State Penitentiary is short. It doesn't take you more than 15 minutes to get there. When you get there, he drops you off, takes the fare. It is a vastly different view here than what it was last time you were here. There's tourists everywhere. There's people wandering around with shirts. There are people who are, the gates are open. They look like they're about to close here in a little bit before they do a switch over. There's some sort of a night tour that they're doing late tonight, but they're going to do it. They're going to close for a couple hours between then and now. It is a very vastly different circumstance of seeing this as a tourist attraction with people milling around with their kids and
Put my
wearing
fucking life on the line.
Yeah, their T-shirts and their their photos of on the pennies of Al Capone's cell, as opposed to the last time that you were here when everything changed. So, what do you do?
I'd probably just kind of start looking around and getting my bearings and trying to figure out kind of what was our route that night. I've got the scaled down, area that I'm going to explore using the geolocation.
So, as you start to walk heading towards the buildings, the first building that you come to is kind of one of those kind of office buildings where every different floor is completely different something. There's security that's in the lobby that kind of gives you a strange look as you walk up. And when you go to try the front doors, they're locked. So what are you going to do? Are you going to attempt to find a way in, or are you going to go ahead to the other?
If I don't for sure know this is the building, this is the rooftop, I'm not going to force the subject. I'd probably just kind of keep meandering the neighborhood until I had a more sure sense of the building that we actually used.
So when you you walk a couple more blocks down, you find a building. It is shorter than the other building was by several stories. But it is actually, the roof is accessible by a fire escape on the side. This seems familiar.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and climb the fire escape. All stealthy like, and probably use, before I do anything, since the unseen, just to make sure I'm alone up there.
So you're using sense and seen when you get to the roof.
Yeah, is it busy enough that I should obfuscate?
So what I would say is heading up the rickety metal stairs and the ladder up there. It's not there's nobody hanging out on it or anything like that. But when you get to the top, it's basically a flat roof. There's nothing to obscure. There's like an AC unit up there. There's nothing really up there to hide behind or
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
When you look around, you see that you are being watched. In the next building over,
Well, that was the
there
whole
is,
point of obfuscating before getting up. I'm
But
joking.
you can't
there's
make sound, more than a whisper. So if you're going up rickety stairs, you're probably going
I
to
got it. I got it. I
just
got
by
it.
climbing.
Good point.
so when you get up there, you know that you are being watched. There is a person of indeterminate age and gender who is across the way from you, across the street, who has a pair of binoculars and is definitely, even if they're not specifically looking at you, you're definitely in their field of view. So what are you going to do?
Maybe try premonition. See where this guy, what their intention might be, or what the next step is for them.
So you're going to attempt to have a premonition about the person who's watching you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What if I just do share the senses and see if they even are focusing on me, if they are looking directly at me?
You could certainly do that.
Okay.
254. I'm pretty sure, but let me double check it. That this is going to require a rouse check on your part. Shared senses. It doesn't indeed call for a rouse check, so rouse that.
Damn it.
You get hungrier.
Big Mac on the way home.
Who's Mac?
Exactly.
So, roll your resolve and auspex.
If I leave it as just discipline, it'll do it automatically, right?
I think so.
We'll see when I roll.
Do you want to spend a willpower to reroll those die?
All of them?
Yeah, reroll 3. So
my undead life.
You attempt to reach out to share the senses with this binoculared person, but whether it's the distance between you or the just a general failure of your abilities, you're not sure, but you are unable to find yourself seeing what he sees. So what are you going to do?
How many stories up did you say I was?
We'll say you're like 8 or 9.
Okay. I'm thinking ashes are ashes. I can make my way back up here. I want to figure out who this is. So I'm
Well,
gonna
you
just
haven't
kind
even
of
actually. As I was saying, you haven't even actually looked around to see where the body is, if there was one, if there's a pile of ashes or anything
right, but
like
in the
that.
time it could take me to look for the body, that's this person that's obviously, if they're there for the reason I think they are, they're there to stake out and see who comes back. They're waiting for the criminal to come back to the scene of the crime. And if that's the case, then somebody's going to be reporting on my ass to somebody else.
So what are you going to do?
Probably scale my way back down and try to make my way toward this person as inconspicuously as possible.
Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to basically go back down the stairwell or the
Fire
fire
escape.
escape, and then head into the next building to go up and attempt to find the person who is watching you.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought this person was watching me from the street.
No, this is a
Okay,
person watching
okay.
you from the next building over.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That totally changes everything. At this point, it's like fuck it. If I can't, there would be literally no time. They'd know exactly that I was coming, and they'd off. So if I have no way to connect with them and figure this out on my own, then yeah, I start snooping for what's left of Shaw.
So when you head over to where you remember Vic unceremoniously dumping the body, you don't find anything.
Yeah,
You don't find ashes. You don't find
I knew that's where it was.
anything. Instead, what you find lodged up a little ways away, kind of at the edge of the building, on a sticky note that has been taped to the side in very, very fine handwriting. All it says is finders keepers.
Mm.
I wouldn't recognize this handwriting anywhere.
Nope.
Yeah, I take the note, shove it in my pocket.
When you shove it in your pocket, what do you do now?
I mean, I could try to head toward the stalker, but like I said, I have a feeling they won't be there by the time I make it to where they were. But yeah, I mean, grasping at straws here.
So by the time you turn around, the binoculars are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, before I make any moves, I'll text at least Michael and Vic. I don't really think this pertains to too many other people right now, and Michael can let them know if he wants to. But just that um there's nothing here, and then I'd probably snap a picture of the post-it note saying, "This is what I found."
So, you snap picture. Are you going to head back down to the ground level and get a Uber back to the club, or what are you going to do?
Um, is there anything else in the area? I know not to expect a body or ashes, but is there anything else that would seem out of place?
It's rooftop.
Okay.
It's rooftop. You've only been here once before in your entire life. So
But like, if there's like a random boot in a corner and you're like, that kind of thing. Um,
no boots.
yeah, I mean, I guess I would.
Maybe a croc, but no boots.
I can stay. Uh, yeah, I guess I'd make my way back down. Uh, Again, take a taxi back with cash. That way, no paper trail.
Cool, cool. So you head back the to the club. This seems like a reasonable time to take a quick break for bio. We'll come back at 10 after.
Yeah, sounds good, everybody. All right, everybody, we're gonna put you on the be right back screen. I'll probably run a quick ad since we won't be here anyway. And again, if you want to
Ooh,
get rid of those ads, all you gotta do is
subscribe.
subscribe. It costs $5, or you can use your Amazon Prime attached. Hook it up with your Twitch, and you get one free sub a month to anybody. So, and you get cool emotes. So cool
Super
freebies.
cool.
So we will be back soon, everybody. All right, everybody, welcome back from break. Tonight I'm joined by Knox, our storyteller. Zack is Victor. Martha
No.
is Michael. I'm your Alice, and tonight's Vampire the Masquerade, 5th edition Philly by night. Um, Thanks for everybody that stuck with us through break. Hit me up in chat. We're always active there. Love to hear from you guys. Um, as some of you heard earlier in the session, our friend Skot, who played Idaho, has stepped away from the game, and we've got some spots available. If you are interested in role playing, have experience or not, feel free to get in touch with me and Knox on Discord. I will put that in the chat. And let us know if you're interested and what we can do to maybe get you in the game. A game. We run 2 games a week. We do Vampire the Masquerade on Monday nights. Thursday nights are it's a sci-fi horror game called Mothership, and it plays unlike any role-playing game I've ever played. It's awesome. So I think that was all I needed to touch on. We should be getting back to our story.
Warning: if you're gonna try and play Mothership, you're gonna have to be into the very disturbed,
Yes.
the very disturbing.
Like if you think this is mildly disturbing, Mothership will blow your socks off.
Yeah, that one should probably come with a content warning.
It really, yeah. I just hate to make my whole channel considered mature, but I'm having to consider it these days.
So,
More
with all that
Minecraft.
said, welcome back to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Chronicle, Philly by night, session 56 tonight. So, Alice has returned to the beacon after her outing looking for the body of the city's one-time nemesis. Before you arrive, Vic, Michael, what would you be doing at this point? There are customers who are coming in. There's a fairly decent crowd that's going on. What would
Is the door being managed, or do they need help there?
Harvey and Romano seem to have it. It's not the busiest night you guys have ever had. It's not like when the Gangrel band showed up and there was fucking people around the block or anything like that. This is definitely manageable, but it's also a full night, which is kind of nice.
Okay. I guess I'd just be seeing where I could fill in around the club then.
Okay,
Being
so you're
still, yeah, just trying to help out where I can.
cool. Okay, Michael, what are you doing?
The bar. Just slinging drinks at the bar.
So you guys get a message from the front. Harvey sends a text to the group text and says, we have a really weird situation here, and I'm not sure how to handle this.
All right, I start heading to the front then.
How is my bar doing?
You are probably 2 or 3 deep at this point. Now, Al's bar was basically main bar for the place. So with you there, it's busy.
All right, I have my comm on me, so I'll be waiting to hear back from Vic.
So, Vic, when you head up to the front, Romano, before you get up to the front, you see Harvey is standing inside the door, like he's looking around, like he's looking for you or Michael or somebody. Through the door, you can see Romano. He's kind of wide-eyed, like he's got kind of a shocked look on his face, but he's talking to somebody in a hoodie. Talking kind of animatedly.
All right. I head that way. See what's going on.
Harvey kind of says, "Hey, this is a really weird question." He goes, "I don't know if you know." He goes, "Did Ruby have a sibling?"
Not that I know of. I'm still walking over there. I'm coming. I'm coming. I haven't stopped moving.
He follows you out. When you get out the door, there is a woman wearing fishnets underneath of a pair of pants, not pants, but like they're jeans, but that are torn up, with a thick, oversized hoodie. And when she sees you, Vic, she like kind of gives like a little wave and continues talking with Romano. Something about how the Phillies actually won some games this last weekend, about beating the Angels. Whatever. It's something kind of trivial. Romano, he's kind of like, he's like, I'd like, he's like this is, he's like, I'm really enjoying this talk. He says, he says, I'd like you to meet my boss. And he gestures to you, Vic. And when he gestures to you, she waves and pulls her hoodie back. And you, if it was just the face, you'd say this is Ruby. She looks identical. But she has dark, black, naturally black, not dyed black hair that is pulled back in two pigtails, kind of Wednesday Addams style. And she smells very different. And she kind of smiles and waves at you. And when she smiles at you, you see like a hint of fangs. And she kind of looks, and she's like, this is kind of weird. She's like, I normally get the red carpet rolled out for me. And she sticks her hand out. And she goes, "Hi, I'm Jen."
Hi, Jen. Nice to meet you.
She shakes your hand and she goes, "That's two ends."
Yeah, well, welcome in. Come on.
She's like, is there a particular bar you recommend?
Al's.
She goes, who's Al?
I'll point. She's that lovely lady behind that bar right there.
Al's not there yet. Al is not.
Okay. She's not there yet?
No,
oh, that's right. She's still gone. Crap. Michael's. I'll point her to Michael's bar then.
She's like, okay, thanks. So Michael, here's the question, Vic. Would you be sending anything? Would you be?
Yeah, I'd be sending a message to Al. I'd be like, you want to get here? Ruby just showed up. I mean, Jen just showed up with 2 N's.
So, Michael, when you're hanging out at the bar, you're serving drinks. The SEPTA workers are there. They're kind of giving you kind of the eye because you're not Al. And then
Okay.
at the end of the bar,
I'm totally like killing him, like not with kindness, but like just confidence and good service and
Two.
good drinks.
so when
Yeah.
you're
Don't
serving
forget.
everybody, and all of a sudden you kind of look down the bar, and at first all you see is the face,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Ruby. And then the moment kind of fades when there's no pink hair, there's no kind of punk rock accoutrement. This person has black braids, and she kind of waves at you from down the bar. So what do you do?
Sense the unseen immediately.
Okay. Roll your wits and aspects.
Okay, what's an aspects?
Everyone
Pull
get
up
pussy.
my What is my wits? What is my aspects? I don't know. Bum, bum, bum. Where are you, character sheet? There you are. Mm-mm. 3 and
Wits and aspects for you is going to be
3 and 1.
Yep, 3 and 1.
So I guess it's gonna be 3 and 1 since that's where I am in hunger, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ta-da!
You don't detect anything you're not seeing anything that you wouldn't normally see.
Like no black spectral.
No, this person does not even this kindred who is standing at your bar does not even have that on them. They do not even have a mark of diablerie on them.
Interesting. All right. Interesting. So I walk up to her and I'm like, "Can I help you?"
She kind of forthrightly puts her hand out. She goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Jen. 2 N's."
Hello, Jen.
She says,
What can I get you to drink?
She goes, "The big guy told me to come here." She's like, I'm not really thirsty. She goes, "At least I don't think you have anything behind the bar that I want."
Fair enough. Usually we just have things for show.
She's like, just some water."
What can I do for you, Jen?
She's like, just kind of been in the neighborhood for a while and had never kind of stopped in, and and just kind of wanted to see what was going on here.
Well, please enjoy. We just keep the masquerade in the premises, and everything is gravy.
She's like, oh, okay. She's like, that's totally doable.
Who are you from?
She goes, I have been staying. There's a. She kind of looks a little sheepish, and she goes, there's a halfway house. That's down south off the Susquehanna. She says, they have a lot of homeless people and people with problems, chemical problems. She goes, and she's like, well, so once upon a time, she's like, I used to have a problem. And she goes, but now I just kind of help them sleep.
Fair enough. Does that like a description like ring any bells for me? Like, would I understand what she's saying?
I mean, you would understand that what she's describing is somebody who's probably like a sandman, which is what Vic is.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of stands there in front of you looking a little awkward. What do you...
Well, I give her the water and I say, well, how long have you been in town for? Are you looking for work?
She's like, I mean, normally she's like, I've been here for a while, but I don't really know anybody. She's like, I don't know, what kind of work are you talking about?
Just asking questions, trying to get to know the new person in town.
She's like, okay, yeah. She's like, I don't really, I've never worked in a bar, so I don't know how much I could help. So about this,
it's just the strangest thing. You have such an interesting look about you. You remind me of my friend. And about this time, what?
About this time, Al, you would be hitting the front door. When you hit the front door, the Romano and Harvey are both like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're like, you need to. They're like,
Excuse you? What the fuck's going on?
Harvey is like,
you need a heads up.
He's like, look. He's like, we all know you're going through some shit. Okay? We know you're going through some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Said, some woman, I'm sorry, has shown up tonight who is a dead ringer for your old lady. And Romano's like, well, not dead ringer. The hair doesn't match.
Always never heard of a wig.
Harvey is just like.
So what do we know about her?
Jen with two N's, and that's it. He goes, that's all. He goes, she's nice. He goes, it's not. He goes, it's not the same person. He goes, the personality is different. He's like, she's very, very different.
Okay, where's she now?
She goes, Vic took her in the club. He goes, I think he sent her down to your bar.
Okay. Thanks
So
for the heads up.
he's like, didn't want you to. Romano's like, we just didn't want you to walk in there and.
No, I got it. I got it. No, I do appreciate it. I didn't mean to fly in with so much attitude. It's the night is already presenting challenges too early. So, yeah, I'll head in.
So when you head in, where do you head first, Al? Vic, where after you just as a quick side note, Vic, when after you sent Jen with two ends down to Al's bar, where did you head off to?
I guess I'm just still feeling that, filling, whatever role I can in the club to help out. So,
Okay.
if I saw Al walk in, I would definitely let her know. But I don't know if I'd see her before Al walks in and sees her herself.
Okay. So Al, what do you do?
I mean, they said that she went to my bar, so that's where I'm heading.
So when you head down to your bar, the people who actually see you first are the SEPTA workers, who
Ah, my
immediately
bros.
who are immediately like, "Hey!"
Yeah,
They're like,
I definitely play into it, pats on
they're
the back.
they're like, "Oh, yeah, fuck yeah," and they're all enthusiastic to see you. Much to the chagrin of the people around them, who are like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Pays to be a VIP, baby.
When you get to the end of the bar, the end where you would enter in, you see Michael talking to from behind. It looks like your kind of stereotypical little goth girl, wearing the ripped, kind of the platform Doc Martens and the ripped jeans with the fishnet underneath of it, and then there's and the Wednesday Addams pigtails and the big black hoodie, and it's none of that even phases you until you look into the mirror behind your bar. And in the darkness of the club and with the darkness of her hair, all you can see is that face. And it is a flash of too many nights. Nights going back to before she was a thin blood, when she was just a girl who had a big old crush on you that turned into love, before the incident at the naval base and turned after. In fact, the biggest change that you would notice about this particular kindred is that she does not have the burn mark on her face that Ruby never got rid of.
Yeah. I'd probably try to compose myself, try to play nonchalant as I can, sidle up next to Michael and wait for Michael to make introductions.
When you come up behind the bar next to Michael, before Michael can even say anything, she sees you and gives a wave and a smile and sticks her hand out, and she goes, "Jen, with two N's."
Nice to meet you. Seems like you're new around here.
She goes, "Yeah, I was just telling him." She goes, "I'm really sorry. I'm bad with names. I don't think
That's
I
Michael.
got."
I'm
She goes,
Alice.
She goes, "Oh, hi, Alice." She goes, She goes, I was just telling Michael about where I've been staying. He said you guys are looking for help.
Yeah, actually.
We need help wrangling up some kittens.
Um, Beyond that, just a quick question. I'm sorry if it's too personal, but you look so much like a friend of mine. Do you have family in town?
She goes, I mean, I had an aunt and an uncle a long time ago, but I think they're gone. I don't think they live here anymore.
Okay.
What
So,
are their names? I'm
She
still
goes,
hanging around, right?
yeah. She's and
Okay.
at this point, while you guys are focusing on Jen, the other people down the bar are starting to be like, alcohol assholes.
Okay, so I go over and I leave you two.
well, I mean, you got like Supremo hearing, right? Kidding.
So, what do you? What is your? What do you? How are you feeling when you see this? What is going through your head, Al?
Somewhat shock. Definitely trying to play as normal as I can in the moment. Um, Racking my brain trying to figure out the connection here. Um, but at the same time, I'm remembering this note in my pocket, and that's a whole other situation to discuss with the team. Uh, I guess I might ask her if she frequents any of the other bars in our fine city.
She's like, no, I'm not usually. She goes, it's like a once in a while thing for me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm more of a concert person, frankly.
I remembered those before I started working here.
She goes, I really miss festivals. She goes, I always used to follow the big festivals.
Well, it's the best bang for your buck.
She goes, it was until you can't go out during the day.
When did that happen?
Well, depending on the type of festival, a lot of them do go into the evenings these days.
She's like, you're right. She's like, Coachella does that sometimes. Like, it goes late, but a lot of the bands, like the the smaller metal bands or some of the smaller DJs, they end up with like day sets.
Yeah, always openers.
Yeah, and
Well, see, you have a zest for music. You think you might be interested in a job here?
she's like, I was telling she kind of
Michael.
stops. She is Michael. She goes, I was telling him, I don't have any bar skills. I've never worked at a bar, so I don't really know what I can do here.
Well, what skills do you have?
She's like, I mean, um, she kind of thinks about it for a second. She's like, I'm not a terrible people person.
She'll fit right in.
Well, that would account for just about all of us here. It takes more than just pouring beers to run a bar. We've got, books to run, we've got a cleaning crew, and just about anybody can be taught to pour beer.
You somewhere else in the club, you hear Rhea be like, except for fucking Idaho.
I just stick a thumbs up in the air. I'm just like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
She's like, I mean, I'm not against it. She's like, is it just kind of a show up when the sun goes down thing, or like how does this work?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously we'd set up a schedule, but as it is, we're
Quick
kind of
test run.
doing mass hiring right now. So, the more
It's a
people,
6-month trial period.
Michael yells down the bar.
She's like, well, I mean, sure. She's like, I guess. She's like, I guess do I just show up tomorrow and we start then, or
Sure.
she
I
goes,
go ahead
okay.
and give her one of my business
Oh, yeah.
cards.
She's like, all right, well, I'm gonna wander around the club a little bit, I guess, and kind of get my bearings. And
Yeah, I get the lay of the land, chat people up, get some other people's word on us and see if,
she like pockets the card, and she's like, okay, cool, thanks. And she sticks her hand back out to shake your hand.
Jook.
She shakes it and kind of wanders off into the club. You think she's heading kind of in the general direction of Lane's bar.
Hmm.
And you get confirmation of that about 2 minutes later when there's a group text that's like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck?
No time to explain right now. It's not who you think it is. Act cool. We'll talk after closing.
So, Vic, while you are wandering through the club doing trash and all of that, you happen to wander by Robin's bar, and Robin is talking with Clyde, who is showing her a video. And Robin, even though she's got tears in her face and all of that, still looks, even through her sadness, still looks reasonably impressed at whatever Clyde is showing her. When you walk by, Clyde is like, "You have to see this, man."
Okay, I'll take a look.
He shows you a video of a guy. He is heavily muscled. Body's just curling. Like, dude looks like he lives in a gym. Not a bodybuilder, like power lifter, something like that. And the video is of him in an MMA ring. And he's just it's just a montage of clips of him just taking guys out. And Clyde is like, this guy could have been fucking something.
Could have been. What happened?
He said, I'd put money on him a couple times when he was at some of the local events. Always made money on him. He says, but dude, just something happened. Don't know what it is. Kind of lost his edge, lost his will to fight, and kind of fell off the map. Like, dude went from being, a potential fucking welterweight champion, could have easily competed in WBA, to nothing. He was, fucking he lives a little further north of us, but hometown boy, Philly born and bred, could have easily been. Dude was fucking right there. Could have been could have been a contender.
What's his name?
I think his name's Alphonse something. I don't know if that's his real name. It's he.
Try and figure out if he knows where he's at.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in mind. So I'm gonna have to do some research on MMA fighter named Alphonse, is local to Philly, and I saw the video, so I should be able to identify him pretty well, and that might be a good lead for a sire. Someone to sire.
He's like, man, we need to if we could get somebody like that here, to help beef up security, or fucking just a hump trash. He's like, I'd like to not have to do trash duty every night.
Didn't Michael tell you to hire a team?
He goes, yeah. Do you know how many people want to hump trash?
Hey, man. There's a lot of people that would rather do that than just be, than nothing at all, be living on the street.
He goes, yeah, there's a lot of people who would rather make more money than we're willing to pay for humping trash. He heads off to continue humping trash. Robin looks at you, Vic, and is like, I really miss him.
Me too.
She's like, what are you doing later?
Guess cleaning up. I don't know.
She's like, me too.
She's looking for another blood daddy.
Oh, Robin.
Michael. So now that Al is there at the bar, what do you say? What are you thinking? What do you do?
I'm gonna step away for a bit, go over to the office, post the job calls, and call some of my snacks with benefits. See if they know anybody who's cute and looking for a job.
You definitely find. So there was originally a couple that you used to pretty regularly have hang around. One of whom suffered a loss during COVID. When you give the guy who survived a call, he tells you, yeah, he's in between jobs. He's could definitely pick up a shift or two if you are willing to help, have him around.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you through the crunch. Can you repeat the last part?
Said, yeah, he could totally pick up a shift or two. If you're willing to have him around.
Who was this? Just
One
the
of
guy.
One of the gentlemen that you have fed on in the past and called on for.
Fun. Sure. You can start to, if you want, you can start tomorrow. And it's going to be 6 weeks off the books, trial run.
He's like, sure, I'll be there.
Lovely. And I hang up.
Okay.
Check my messages.
You have no voicemail.
Damn it, Threnody didn't call you again. Have we heard from any of our allies?
You have heard from no one. You've not heard
I
from the
don't like
Nos.
this.
You have not heard from Threnody. In fact,
I don't like this at all.
the only people who you have heard from, you haven't heard from any of the Thin Bloods who used to come around here. Slade has not come around. You have the only real allies that you have heard from in the aftermath of all of this, of Elysium, have been your trip to the Dissolved Girl.
Sabine's club?
Haven't heard anything from Sabine.
Okay. I head back down to the floor.
So
Help close out the night.
So, as the club starts to wind down a little bit, people start to filter out. What do you Al, what are you doing?
If my bar is slow enough, I'm going to find my way to Michael.
I would say it would probably be the other way around. Your bar is probably never, since you're the only one running it now.
Okay, well, we said closing down, so I wasn't sure how close we were to close.
Your bar was like the hottest bar in the
your main
in the
bar.
club, so
yeah.
So we'll say it's probably like 1:30
Okay.
at this point. But I would say that Michael coming back down to the floor to continue to help out, it would be pretty easy to reach out and grab him if you needed to talk to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what does that conversation look like?
What the fuck? Who was that?
Honestly, I have no fucking idea. She didn't have her diablerie mark on her. She is like a spitting image and a vamp. No fucking idea. I was hoping you would.
She never talked about her family. I mean, shit, you saw how I found out about her parents.
True. What do you think? Do you want to keep her close? See if she's in danger, or if she's anything related to your rubes, or
I mean, that would be...
what do you want to do?
It'd be our... Even if it's not a lead, it would be our first lead into some kind of thread. Because right now, the whole fucking... The trail has grown cold, my friend. Also,
It could be a trap.
I mean, I've been fooled before, but I don't necessarily. And as long as we all keep eyes on her, I'm sure one of us will catch something out of the ordinary. Yeah, I ran my errand. Yeah, this is all I found.
I look down at the note.
The note is a simple sticky note with a piece of kind of like duct tape at the top of it, which is got some crumblies on it from like sand or dirt or something, and in a fine handprint, the note reads "Finders Keepers."
You said fine handprint, like what? Like beautiful, like cursive?
No. Let's say light lines, not heavy lines.
Okay. Do I recognize the script at all?
Nope.
Yeah, I was thinking of running a premonition check on this.
You want to wait until we're closed?
Oh, that would be the smart thing. Yes, I think.
Okay.
At this point, are my septic guys still around, or have they taken off?
They're still hanging around. They're a little tipsy.
Yeah, I'd probably check in with them, kind of see what's the word on the street, any new graffitis, any
They're,
odd sightings.
they're like, oh yeah. There's tons of new graffiti down there. It's not the same. It's not the same style. It's very, very different. Like it's actual like graffiti, but there's just a lot more of it lately. And it's in weird places. Like we found entire tunnels just covered in tags.
Let's take some pics.
He hands it to you. He hands his phone to you. It doesn't look like there's nothing in that artwork that you're seeing that makes it even remarkable compared to the previous kind of works of art that you saw from before. This looks like pretty standard graffiti tagging. It just happens to be a lot more of it. The one SEPTA worker goes, I mean, we did find that one thing. And the guy goes, yeah, I don't want to talk about
Aww. Not even for a free shot?
that. He goes, I'm going to need a shot to talk about it.
On me. What are you having?
He gladly accepts the shot. After they both down their shots, the second guy goes, so every once in a while, he goes, it's part of the job. He goes, we find people on the tracks. He says, pretty typical, right? He says,
Hazard of the job.
Yeah, he goes, sometimes homeless people get down there, they're cold, they're drunk, they're high, they're whatever. They end up laying down. They're not thinking about where they're laying down. Whatever. It shit happens. It's fucking awful. I wish there were more safeguards there to prevent it from being a thing, but it happens. He goes, but so another crew was cleaning a couple days after we found some of this graffiti. He says, so it's the first guy goes, it wasn't that long ago. It was like the day before yesterday or something. He says, we found this poor girl. Says somebody got to her. I'm not gonna. I'll leave that to your imagination. But by the time that we found her, there wasn't a whole lot left. But fuck, just the weirdest thing ever. Like, just had the absolute shit just kicked out of her. The little like pencil dress, like in like this kind of baby blue or like a light blue or what. By the time it had fucking dirt all over it, but said just beat to fuck. And but that's not the first guy goes, that's not the weird part. He goes, tell her the weird part. He goes, no blood. Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. Like, we've seen people who've gotten fucked up like that before. And it's usually a goddamn squeegee mess. He goes, no
He's
blood.
Fucked up.
He goes, no blood. He goes, there's, and the not even at the lacerations or anything like that, or where on the, like, nothing. It's the weirdest thing ever.
That is Really fucking strange.
Just
Would the
would any of
description
us
What is
uh
that?
Martha?
Somebody go. Somebody.
I was like, yeah, would the description ring any bells? Do we
Uh,
recognize anybody
so
like that?
the description of the dress would probably make you think that it was the librarian or Lisa, as that was the same outfit that she often wore. But he doesn't have any photos or anything like that. So
Right. Well, man, sorry again you had to deal with all that. I mean, that's some fucked up shit.
he goes, I'll tell you what, when the people from City Morgue came down there, he said, we fully expected them to be, just as weirded out about it as we are, but he said, guess their jobs are harder than ours. They picked that shit up and threw it in a body bag and carted it off without so much as a word.
I'm sure they see a lot of fucked up shit in their line of work.
He goes, yeah, well, for whatever it's worth for me, I hope I don't ever have to see that shit again.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. Well, I think it's getting close to closing. Should I get you guys your bar tabs?
They're both like, yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you. We're going fucking. You need to
Yeah,
get
I'll
back
be
on
around
normal.
more.
He goes, hey, where's the second goes? Hey, where's your girl?
Give him another shot.
Yeah, we're kind of on a break. She felt the need to kind of get out of town for a little bit, so she needs some
They're
space. I'm willing to give it,
they're both like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I give them 2 more shots just for the hell of it.
They gladly thank it, and of course tip large as they always do. Vic, what are bars starting to close down? People are starting to filter out. Trash is starting to go out. So what are you doing?
Guess just meeting with Alan.
Every single time that you
just
every single time that you'd have to take a load of trash out the back door, you have to walk by that hallway, and all you can smell is shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go talk to Michael and figure out what our long-term solution is going to be.
Michael, what are you doing?
Muted.
Doors are closed, and people are out or filtering out.
They're filtering out. Doors aren't closed yet. Certainly closed from incoming.
Okay.
But they're not closed.
Are the lights on?
Not just quite yet.
Okay. Then I just help close out tabs, do whatever I need to, and then head down to the basement.
At about this time, your phone rings. It is
I answer.
It is a number you do not recognize.
Okay, I answer.
A kind of nasally voice says, I'm looking for a Mr. Starwell.
Who's calling?
My name's Pace McGillicuddy. We're with Dodge out here and things. We needed to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Your phone beeps. You've got another call.
I swap over.
The other
Swap and end the call.
Yeah, I end the call and answer the other one.
When you pick up,
oh no, I would swap the call because they can't hang up as long as you don't hang up. So if they're on hold, they're just gonna wait there like an idiot. So I just swap the call.
So you swap the call over, and there is a moment of silence, and then a soft-spoken woman says, "Is this Michael Starwell's number?"
Who's calling?
She says, "My name is Imogen." She goes, "I am the seneschal for Ronald." She goes, "Is this Mr. Starwell?"
You have him?
She goes, "Renato and I were in the neighborhood, and he wanted to speak with you about an important matter. Do you have some time this evening?"
I do. I believe I do.
She goes, "Good. We will be there in about half hour to 45 minutes."
I hang up.
So,
She said she was the primogen of what?
she is the seneschal to Renato.
Seneschal. What is a seneschal?
So, the seneschal, typically speaking, has been the right-hand man to the prince, basically a prime advisor. They're not
Cagliari.
kind of. They're not really considered to be a part of the Camarilla hierarchy formally, in so
Okay.
much as they are. They kind of act as the assumptive second. So oftentimes, when when someone has a seneschal, sometimes there's a romantic effort to between them.
Okay.
The Prince Vannevar in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
his seneschal was also his partner.
Okay.
So it's often a kind of a first lady or first dude position, for lack of a better way to put it. It's not necessarily an official position, but it's often given a lot of weight, as they very often have the direct ear of the prince. The other part about that is it's there are certain implications by claiming that title. It's basically saying what the other person is.
That they're a prince. So who did she say she was a seneschal for?
For Renato,
Renato. Please remind me if I know this.
you would have met Renato at Elysium. He was the one who told you that he would be giving you time to deal with Raoul amongst yourselves, or that the
Oh yes. Yes.
So
yes,
it's good timing because we were just about to talk and have a meeting about him anyway. So
And how may I help you?
you've already hung up on them, so
they said
Oh,
they'll be here in
yeah,
30
sorry.
minutes.
30 to 45 minutes, and you
Oh
hung
yeah.
up.
But, so.
Yeah. Sorry. Very tired. Very tired.
So
Woo.
there are only a few people who are now wandering around the club. Jen with two N's is one of them. Al, what do you do?
Probably wrap up my bar, or at least get somebody to kind of, count it down and everything for me. Um, I would probably see if it's an adequate time for me to go to the office, and I would run my premonition on that note.
Okay. So you are heading to the office.
At least I imagine that's the closest secure place.
Yes, that would. Well, I mean, theoretically, there's also a. So each of the bars has a small room that's behind the bar. I don't know how else to make a reference to this.
Like a little mini office.
Not an office. It's
Oh.
like a. So
Storage.
it's Yeah,
Oh,
it is
kegs and stuff.
yeah, it's for like second bottles of liquor and stuff like that. It's pretty close to a closet, often referred to by bartenders as the Coke closet,
Mm-hmm.
um, or the Quickie closet for some bartenders. Um, the So there's definitely there. You could definitely dodge back there, and there no one could be able to
That's
see you
fine.
back. Alternatively, you can head for Michael's office.
No, if this is, that way, I mean, like I said, I'm trying at least to stay as close to the bar for if I'm needed. So that the closet's fine.
Okay, so
Uh,
you're going to dodge in there uh, and use premonition. So make a rouse check.
oh, that's right. First. Yay, I gonna get so hungry. Yup.
You are indeed getting hungrier.
Where's Jen?
All right. No modifiers.
We left
Wait,
with
hold
everybody.
on.
Oh, I did it wrong?
You didn't wait for me to tag up your hunger, so
Oh,
you need to
oh, yeah.
re-roll it.
Okay.
Do you want to spend a willpower to re-roll those two white die?
Might as well. It seems like it's kind of close to the end
Okay.
of our adventuring. So how many?
Reroll
2.
2.
Come on, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
So the only thing, as you kind of put your hands and think about it, that you see is you see you and Michael and Vic heading up the fire escape to that building. But the perspective isn't like you seeing yourself. It is back, as if somebody was watching you from across the street.
Can I figure from the perspective which building I'd be watched from?
It feels like it's street view. They're
Oh, okay.
watching you as you're going up, so it's on the street there. But they watch you go all the way up, carrying the body, and there is a time there where, in your vision, they're just looking up at the side of the building, and then they follow, and they seem to be watching as you come all the way down and get in your vehicle and drive off.
Can I? No.
Any windows nearby? Get a reflection?
Very interesting. Could I tell from the vision the height perspective of the person?
So here is, I would say you could attempt that. That's going to be your.
I need to eat first.
I think this is an
All right.
unravel.
I would say if you wanted to attempt to do that, that would be your intelligence and your awareness. But you would need a fairly high number of successes to be able to determine that. I mean,
Do I have the option of stepping out from behind the bar and going for a snack before we close, before we're empty? Maybe one of my SEPTA boys is around.
You
Good and
could. So,
drunk.
at this point, there are still a couple people who are in the club. You could go hunt if you really wanted to. Um, but and here's the thing about that: it is not likely that you have enough time to go hunt and get back in time to be here for when your guests are.
No, that's why I was thinking if there's just some kind of cutie drunk that I could whisk off to a booth and make out with.
If you would want to attempt to hunt within the club, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll 6, including your hunger die.
Oh wait, just like 6 white?
No, it's got to include your hunger die, so it's going to be 3 and 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I could roll that off my character sheet.
Nope. This is one of the few things that you can't.
And 3.
You too.
It's killing me.
So, do you want to re-roll those 2 die?
My last willpower. It's my last
Yeah.
one.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting back after the night?
Can't you regain willpower?
Yes, you can theoretically take an aggravated damage to gain willpower. To refill a willpower.
It's one of your Bahari abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered that. I just didn't know if I should do it now to keep one in the chamber or wait and see what happens.
Wait and see what happens.
Okay, reroll. How many? 3?
2.
I
So,
cannot tonight in these rolls.
so you see a cute little punk rock girl with teal-colored hair, piercings in her lips, some snake bites, who is not quite stumbling drunk, and is being, maybe she's hanging out with some friends. She's being a little rowdy, a little aggressive, a little out of control. So when you happen to stumble by and she kind of follows after you like a lost puppy dog, her friends are only too happy to kind of let her wander off. As you sink your fangs into her throat, you can feel that white hot anger in her blood. You can feel that anger at the injustice of everything that's going on, that anger at the world just because she's a girl and it's unfair, the anger at too many broken hearts and no one here to take care of her, of another bad decision falling into some other girl's arms. How much do you take as you're drinking her?
Two.
So, by the time that you're done, between as inebriated as she is and as much as you take from her, she kind of slides down in the booth. And when you look up, you see Jen looking at you. And she gives you kind of like a wink and a thumbs up. And then like a little goodbye wave and starts to head up the stairs to leave.
What the F?
I take drunk girl back to her friends and explain I found her in the restroom and you know, she's passing out. Need to get her out of here. We're closing up.
They're like, oh wow, we didn't realize she was this fucked up. They're like, oh, you know, thanks for finding her. Glad it wasn't some creep who like tried to do something to her.
Of course.
They hustle her out of there. Vic, what do you talk to Michael about regarding Raoul? What do you say about the situation?
We're gonna need to get that taken care of as soon as possible. I don't think we can go another night like that. The smell is gonna start coming into the club.
I'd say we take care of it right now. Are you willing to let go of Raoul? Is this who it is? Romano, Raoul? Who do we have in here?
I don't think we have an option at this point. I mean, if
No, who am I talking about? What's his name again?
Raoul,
Raoul.
yeah.
Raoul's
It is Raoul, okay.
I don't think we have an
So,
option at this point. I mean, if the cam's coming over to
I think it is our old Yeller moment, and we're gonna have to nip this in the bud before somebody else does much worse. Better come from us.
All right. I go get
Do
Stubby.
you want to do it, or should I?
I'll go get Stubby.
So
It'll be messy, but I'm not touching him. I'm sorry. He's gross.
So you had.
I'll go get my surgical gloves and carry him to the freaking thing.
So you, Vic, you go get your shotgun, which is
The apartment.
Do you guys head down to the cell and meet up there again, or what are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, like I go get my surgical gloves and come down.
When you get down there, Raoul is sitting in the middle of the room. It is disgusting. But you realize now that he isn't just painting with his bodily fluids. He has started to use his blood and his tendons and his muscles as well. He is ravenously like a slobbering beast when you get to the cells.
All right. I just try to finish him off as quick as possible. I'm not opening the cage or anything, but I got slug shells, so.
So when you walk up do you like try to like shoot him from outside the cell, or do you like stick your arm through the cell and try to like get as close to his head as you possibly can, or
Is there any part of the cell that's clean at all?
No, it's time. I'm like, I'm not accustomed to a little shit. Can't get sick from it anyways. And I like blink over to grab him and like hold him.
Keep in mind,
tailored in your size.
I was gonna say, keep in mind,
Huh?
blink is 30 meters. So that's
Yeah.
you're not. That's
That's still within range. Yeah.
You could do it, but you're also going to have to, because he's within the cell. You're going to have to roll your dexterity and your athletics.
Okie dokie.
All right.
So, do you want to still blink to him?
Yes. Because
Okay.
he's ravenous and he's like literally like making more shit and like ripping his tendons and shit out. So this needs to end now. So I'm gonna blink over to him and hopefully get a hold of him so I can keep him steady for Vic.
Okay, so just because I want to make sure that I'm clear on what the intent is here. You're going to blink into the cell. You're going to open the cell, blink to him, and grab him and attempt to hold him so Vic has a clean shot at the head with the shotgun. Correct? Just making sure that.
Basically, yes.
Okay. So.
I'm thinking a arm lock behind the back and bend him forward would work, if possible.
Okay, so this is. So I would say because there's no hazards there, so the dexterity and athletics roll doesn't need to come into this because it's flat terrain.
Okay.
You're still, however, because you are going to.
I don't have any brawl, but I do have melee.
So if you are, so you're attempting to basically go in there and manhandle him, so you can
actually.
What?
Actually, I changed mind. I changed
okay.
mind.
Keep in mind, Raul's another brouhaha.
Yes. Yes. So I'm gonna ask Vic if he's checked his gun, and I'm gonna ask him if he's willing to let me do this while he opens the door.
Oh, you want to do the shooting?
Yeah, because I can. Again, the blink I feel would work the best in this situation, just because he's so ravenous. If I could just get to him fast enough and like pull a trigger, it might work.
Okay.
Okay, so what you are going to do is you are going to blink to him with the intention of basically getting point blank range to attempt to shoot, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I need you to make a rouse check.
Come back to me, script. Whoa. Not tonight, Satan. There we go. Did it roll?
Yep. Okay, so I now need you. So you need to roll your dex and firearms.
So let's see, dexterity
so it's going to be a 1 and 2.
And 1 and 2, huh? Oh shit! Fuck me.
Should have let me take the gun.
I should have taken this shot.
Are you better at this?
I have a 3 in dex and a 3 in firearms.
Well, fuck me! I'm just gonna like open the door and you go handle
2 in
him.
Firearms.
Do you want to take it instead of me? Like, is it that? Do you think you have a better shot?
Well, you've already taken the gun and blinked. So
okay. So what is it? W1 and 2.
Yep. Okay. So 2 successes. Now he gets to respond. I need to find my roll scripts here.
Why do I feel like Michael's gonna need a shower? It's gonna get messy.
Michael's already used to getting messy. This time it's only just not in bed.
But there's shit involved. I'm just asking.
Again.
It's Amber Heard's bed.
Oh, I knew you were gonna go there. You've been making that joke all week.
I'm just gonna roll my fucking dice and shut up. Okay, so this would be in a response. This would be his dex and his. Okay.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
is this not? Oh. Nope. Is it really going to be like that? There it goes. All right.
Oh, shit.
So, 3 on the margin. So, here's what happens. Vic, you pull the cage open, the cell open, you open the door.
What?
And Michael is ready, gun in hand. He blinks into the room, blinks right next to Raoul, puts the gun to his head, and when he pulls the trigger, there's no one there. Raoul is, at this point, he would have gone straight forward. So, Vic, he's basically charged you.
Okay.
So, what are you going to do?
I guess I'm gonna try and grapple him.
Okay. So, strength, brawl, and you've got the skill, so increase it by 1. For successes.
I'm gonna burn a willpower. Reroll 3 of those.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all, for being an idiot tonight.
Okay, so 7 successes. All right. So he's going to. So that would be his. Oh, it's going to be. Four. He'll burn a willpower.
No! He's too insane to remember to do that.
Okay, so it is. So it's 3. It's 3 in your favor. So now it's 3 on the margin on the other side. So, Vic, what do you do? He charges you.
I pin him down, and I tell Michael to take the shot.
So you're going to. How are you going to pin him down? Like, are you just?
I guess, like, I'll from the back, on the ground, so that he's kind of like face down.
Okay.
Knee on his
So.
neck.
Okay, so he is now. When you grabbed him, you basically got him kind of like in a headlock, grabbing onto him and using your upper body strength to kind of wedge him down. So you've got him kind of, so he's, I guess another way to say this would be you've got one arm around his head, one arm underneath of his other arm, and you've managed to basically use your legs to now lock up on his legs. So you've got him pinned pretty hard.
Okay.
When Michael, when you see this, what do you do?
I walk up to him and put the tip of the gun right against his skull.
Okay. There's no roll for this. When the gun goes off, Raoul's head just, his face just erupts. The gun just completely empties everything that was in his head. His body very slowly starts to wither. But not too much. At about this point, you get a call on the phone, on the group text. It says,
I remove my surgical glove and, if I possibly can, hold my phone out of my clothing without getting it shit smeared.
There is a.
You can't hear because your ears are ringing.
Yeah,
What?
Raul.
What?
The okay. Um, there's a message from Romano who says, there's some hoity-toity VIP out here who says he's got an appointment.
And y'all
Yeah.
smell like shit.
Take him to the main bar. We'll be right there.
You better hit the green room for a shower.
I mean,
So-
like, I say, I'm gonna turn to Romano, and I'm gonna, I mean, Vic can be like, let's get him in the incinerator now.
Now, keep in mind, you can't operate the incinerator without invoking a frenzy check. Because
Yeah, we need Clyde or something. We need Clyde.
So you can put him in there. You can put the body in there. Obviously, it's not like he's leaving. But you guys can't operate it.
Why?
Okay. Fire.
Fire.
Vampires frenzy with fire.
Yeah, that's rock shacked. Like, you can't be anywhere near
sorry.
that kind of fire. So putting him into the incinerator, as you guys
And put
walk.
him in the incinerator as well as all the clothes I'm wearing and gloves.
Okay. So, I'm guessing you're completely naked now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's going to make a hell of a statement. So what are you going to do? Hallway, Raoul is his body is in the incinerator. There is a cell full of shit in the hallway. There's a bunch of kindred brains and blood matter that is sprayed on the hallway. And
I'm gonna leave the mess. I'm gonna
And
leave the
you're-
mess. I'm gonna call Clyde down immediately to like turn on the incinerator.
And you're buck naked. Okay, so Clyde.
Yes. I don't
So
care.
So Clyde walks down, like he comes down there and he gets there and he sees what's going on. And he like at first like there's a kind of like ah, and then he sees you standing there naked and he's just like, because I don't know what I expect anymore. So, what are you going to do now?
Straight to wherever I can rinse my hair off, and if that's in the green room, then I'm just gonna grab like whatever kind of sarong or piece of fabric's laying around and make myself a little wrap up.
So because you actually treat your bands nice, there's actually some like robes that are in there. So you're able to get in there and clean up a little bit. Vic, what are you doing during all this?
I was getting Raoul in the incinerator, but now I'm covered in shit, so
You can do the same.
yeah, I was about to say, like, if I saw Michael strip down, I'd probably just strip down too, and then find a place
Go
to
get your own bathrobe.
return.
That would probably like a tiny little kid's bathrobe on an adult. It'd be
His
like
ass
Terry
is hanging
Crews.
out.
It'd
Yep.
be like Terry Crews in a
Mhm.
regular person's bathrobe, just all tight and just perfectly like covering just the bottom.
So okay, so to clarify, so you also throw all of your clothes into the incinerator and are walking around.
I guess so.
So yeah, so Clyde's like, Jesus fucking Christ, people, and it's like
And
this
be like,
is-
loosen up, love.
you-
It's just a pen. It's just a couple of penises.
You would do the same if your clothes had that much shit on them, okay?
He's like, look, my clothes smell way worse than that after having to take the trash out of here every night, and you don't see me walking around with my cock hanging out.
Okay, so if you want to clean up the shit room and take all the trash out from there, and then figure out how badly you smell tonight and tell me which one's worse,
then you can let me know, okay?
He's like, all over it. So,
I smell
Al,
worse every night because I take out the trash. Now you're gonna smell like shitty and pissy trash.
Al, what are you doing at this point? What is going on with you?
I would have probably just been waiting for the arrival of our guests since Michael disappeared to deal with that. I haven't had the chance to let him know about the premonition.
Well, you came back up to the green room, so you might have seen him run through the club naked to get
That's
to the green
possible.
room. Yeah, we come back
Well, did
naked.
I or didn't I?
Well, no, the green room has access backstage because like bands don't expect to go through the club on the way to stage.
Yeah,
So,
but we were downstairs in the cellar. Like we'd still have to come in from somewhere, right?
Right, but like there would be a back entrance to the green room, or else we wouldn't be a proper like venue.
That's how it
Right.
worked at Meridian.
so, Al, while you're waiting at the bar, you see for lack of a better term, a full contingent of people come in. There are probably 8 or 9 different people who are totally doing the Men in Black thing. Black suits, white shirts, wraparound shades. They are all packing.
Yeah.
The in the middle of all of them, as they come in, there are 2 people who are walking kind of front and center. One is a not particularly tall man. He's looks like maybe he's some mix of Spanish or Italian descent. He's kind of dark complected, dark hair.
Are you trying to say the word swarthy?
No. But with striking blue eyes.
Mm.
On his arm is a woman who is almost his opposite. She's taller than him. She's very fair. Her skin is almost powder white. She has golden curls, and she looks at him as though he is the sun. She is completely just fawning over him. Behind them, and you would recognize these 2 as Renato and Imogen. Behind them, there are 2 other gentlemen. One is is shorter than Vic, but same build. He's stocky. He's kind of squat. His face features are kind of squat as well. You've actually been in this person's company before. This is Hector.
Mm.
The other person, you didn't really ever get an opportunity to do anything with. He is the 3 of them are dressed very, very, for lack of better terminology, very nobly.
Mm.
But the 4th man is dressed almost gaudily in comparison. He's got
Godly?
Gaudily. Like gaudy.
Okay. Just
I know. It took me a second too. I was like, what?
He's got leather pants on. He's got a long leather coat with a fur rough that goes up along it. His features are very, very sharp.
Made from
He's got
Dalmatians.
no, it looks like it's actually made from like the mane of something.
Mmm.
He's got his hair is like slicked back, but it's kind of almost slicked back to like a point. Like it's not covering his head. It's kind of got its own geometric shape thing going on. And he's got a very narrow beard, but no mustache.
He's so narrow.
You would recognize him by name as Valentin.
As who?
Valentin.
Valentine.
Okay.
No, Valentin.
Tin.
No,
Valentin.
Like Rasputin.
They come to the men in black kind of fan out a little bit. Hector and Valentin hang back. Renato and Imogen come up to your bar, Al, and say, "It's good to see you. Are you doing any better from the last time that we spoke?"
I'm in one piece. It's been a rough night and quite busy here. But I take it you're here to speak with Michael.
They nod. Renato says, "Well, it is good that you are still in one piece." He goes, "It would be unfortunate for that to be otherwise." He goes, "Is Mr. Starwell here? Is he available?"
I think he's just freshening up. If you give me a second, I will let him know you've arrived.
He goes, "That would be amazing. Thank you." So what do you do, Al?
I'd probably just shoot, like probably the group text saying, you know, our guests have arrived.
So at about this point, you guys would be cleaned off and be coming out. So what are you both just walking out in robes, or?
That's what's available. I don't think I'm going to find anything else to put on.
I mean, to be fair, yes, I'm wearing a robe, but I also have my clean, damp, long hair, and the robe's open all the way down past the V line, down to the belly button. So this is like a whole rock star kind of look, moment that I'm trying to go for.
So when you come out, when you guys come out of the green room, the room is, as I said, it's covered in men in black, all packing. When you guys come out, Renato and Imogen both give you smiles. They don't seem to make a particularly big deal about how you're dressed. Hector doesn't respond at all. But Valentin lets out a straight up guffaw. He's just. Imogen says, "Have we caught you at a bad time?"
Absolutely not.
We
were just picking up.
Yeah, we had a keg explode earlier. You know, Michael, always being all hands on deck, caught the worst of it. Didn't want him smelling like, you know, ugh. So I told him he should go shower. I watched the bar, but, you know, he pulls off the robe quite well, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I could always go without.
Renato closes his eyes and shakes his head and says, "We've come to you with a proposition of sorts. And we have someone with us that would like you to consider it." At about this point, Sabine comes down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll nod. Sabine.
She nods at everybody. When she sees you in your robe, she can't help but grin. Renato looks at Imogen and says, "We know now that Charles is gone the extent of the scheming and machinations that had been employed against you." He looks at Imogen again and he goes, "This city needs a change." He says, "We have some very severe problems that need to be addressed. And the biggest issue is that while these problems are being addressed, the needs of the local kindred are not being addressed because of petty infighting and
Mm-hmm.
needless cruelty." He says, "I cannot, as the Prince of Philadelphia, make up for the acts of my predecessor." He says, "But I can tell you that the..."
Wait, you have declared yourself prince.
He smiles and nods. He goes, "Indeed."
Mrs. Renato. This is Renato.
I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry.
I honestly don't have a big problem with that because he was like one of the only ones at Elysium that was like being nice to us the whole time. Like he was actually like one of the few people that wasn't being a total dick to us.
Well, if he had this planned
Yeah,
the whole
no,
time, he
but
would
the
have been
problem is
nice for
declaring
sure.
him being in the cam and declaring him Prince of Philadelphia says that he is claiming Philadelphia as cam land. So he's trying to go ahead and push things around
He
with this cam.
he says, "I am not saying that all of our enmity is over." He says, "I am saying that for the time being, we have bigger problems." He says, "This city needs better solutions than it's had." He says, "And we want you to be part of those solutions."
Hmm.
And what possible solutions do you recommend for which problems?
And he says, "Well, we're not proposing any solutions until we've actually heard from everyone at the council." He says, "But we
Well, then
would
let's speak about which problems you seek to address.
He says, "Well, the one of those problems was last left in your custody." He says, "Along with the other 3 kindred who decided to run rampant at Elysium."
The one
Well,
that's left in our custody.
that problem is not your problem.
He
And second, it is no longer a problem.
he goes, "That is as we had previously discussed, and we left that to you, if you'll remember."
And I can assure you the problem has been taken care of and is no longer an issue to anyone.
When you say that, Sabine's mouth kind of drops open for a second, but she regains her composure as quickly as she can. She goes, "Michael," she says, "I need you to understand something." She says, "This is..." She looks at them and she goes, "I'm not a camp sympathizer. You know this." She goes, "They are here." She says,
Who?
"But they're only giving one voice to us on this council." She says, they already have another number that they're going to call if you say no.
Say yes. Say yes.
Sabine says, I understand your trepidation. She said, but they're not wrong. There are more important problems right now that need to be handled. She goes, we have a lot of friends who need help right now that they're not getting because we're too busy trying to fight everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over at my coterie, see what they like, if they give me any indications of expression or anything.
Better you than Reese. Get in there.
Definitely.
I accept.
Renato nods. He says, I want to make this clear on two fronts. He says, the discussion about Praxis over Philadelphia is postponed for now. It's not over. He says, but for the time being, he says, I have no need to continue waging a war on two fronts. He says, the other thing that I want to let you know as an act of good faith is that the former prince had numerous agents who were attempting to target you, both personally and professionally. He says, one of those went significantly above and beyond, and we've already dealt with them. But from the notebooks we found, there was a child that became involved. She was apparently kidnapped at the behest of Charles and was going to be used and wedged as leverage over a member of your coterie. Says, that is inhumane. And while we can't fix the damage to the child, we have made sure that there have been arrangements taken that she will be given the best care possible. But we wanted to let you know that all of these additional forces that had been leveraged against you have been dropped. Said, we are not going to attempt to infringe on your territories or attempt to put forth any sort of territorial disputes until all other matters in the city have been settled. At that point, he says, I hope that we will have found some sort of agreement that works for everyone. And if not, we'll deal with that at that point. Said, but you'll find that I am not the same sort of kindred that my predecessor was. I have too many years in this world to see us continue to bloody and batter one another over insignificant things.
That will be confirmed with time, but until then, I agree to give you the benefit of the doubt.
They nod at one another and they say, well, in that case, we will be in touch. And we will be...
Until then, I do ask of you, who was responsible for hurting the girl?
They're no longer with us. Let us say that. As you have taken care of your problem, on your side, we have taken care of ours.
Then I plan on seeing you shortly.
Imogen says, we will be in touch, as you are the Anarch representative on the council. He said, there will be the expectation that when the council meets, you will be there.
I will keep my ear to the ground.
They both nod and smile at you, and you see Sabine from behind them mouth, you've done the right thing. And with that, they head up the stairs. Imogen and Renato, followed after by Sabine, and then Hector. Valentin looks at you, the pair of you, and before spitting on his heels says, nice robe.
Thank you.
He
You should see what's underneath.
flashes a fairly wolfish smile, and I mean that quite literally, as when he smiles at you, it is not just his canines that are fangs, but most of his teeth. He heads up the stairs, and the Camarilla agents follow after, leaving the coterie standing.
So Valentin must be the Gangrel council member, right? Or like a Gangrel?
You could probably make a reasonable assumption for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, however, that you, Michael, you do not recall seeing Valentin at Fairmont.
Right.
So, before we walk away from this evening, Vic, final thoughts.
Oh man, crazy night. For one of the ones that we didn't go anywhere. Well, Al did, but for the most part, like we didn't go anywhere. A lot still happened.
Mr. Starwell, final thoughts.
Jim.
How hungry am I?
You're at a 2.
Okay. Final thoughts is well, this was not the quiet night I expected or hoped for. And I go collect Robin.
Okay, what are you, when you say collect Robin, what are you doing?
I'm gonna take her and have a snack, and then also give her some back.
Okay. When you feed on her and then give it back, so your hunger level remains at neutral. But after you do that, she seems to perk up almost immediately, and she is like, oh wow. She's like, I feel so much better.
Good. You come to Daddy when you need something.
She goes, oh, I will, Daddy. Al, final thoughts.
Sorry. Just kind of confused and confuzzled about the whole Ruby / Jen clone thing. So,
You think you're
That is
confused?
really
Wait until
weird.
customers that know her come back and see her.
that's
Man.
why I'm hesitant to put her on a bar right away. Besides, like she said, she has no bartending
No.
experience.
She said she has no skills. She can do like bar back and cleaning and stuff like that.
Kinda
first
keep
off.
her
Yeah, but
out of
people
the
are still gonna
aisle.
see her.
Either
You
way,
know.
I'm also for as much as these council members seem to know about everybody's business, I do kind of wonder if they happen to know what happened with Shaw and or Ruby, but there wasn't really exactly the time to speak on it, so it's something I'm kind of ruminating over. Other than that, it's head to bed.
So,
And before I fall asleep, I'd also like to text Sabine and be like, call me
Mm.
when you can. We need to talk.
so with that, the first morning light starts to peek over Philadelphia, and 2 of our 3 members of the coterie retire, leaving Al to watch the sunrise as she wonders where Ruby is and what is going on and who this Jen person is. And with that, our session, though certainly not our chronicle, comes to a conclusion.
Yay! Woohoo!
What are we thinking, chat? How do we feel about tonight?
Sucked losing Raul for good, but
I'm
Yeah.
interested to see Sabine's involvement with these people.
I'm pretty sure her involvement was, they came to her because I'm assuming, but and because she's connected to the Northeast vampires, and she was real quick to say, nope, don't pick them. I know this other guy, Michael.
It's very true. Very interesting.
XP has been awarded for all players for this evening.
Sweet.
Woohoo!
And we will be back in 1 week for session 57. And we will be back in 2 days for our
3 days?
Tuesday.
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days for our 4th session of Mothership.
Yep. And I try to stay pretty up to date. Sometimes I get lazy, but I do post all of our role-playing sessions to my YouTube. If you guys are on PC, you can scroll down. There's a YouTube banner. You can easily go there. I have everything organized into playlists. We have hundreds of hours of vampire content, and now getting started building the Mothership playlist. So want to thank all of you guys for being in the chat, the new followers. Ravenhawk, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we will find a friend to raid to, so please stick around. And again, thanking Nox, our storyteller, Zack, who plays Vic, Martha, who plays Michael. I'm your Alice. We want to thank you guys so much for continuing on this journey with us, and we will see you Thursday. Bye, everybody.
Adios, muchachos.